What's up, guys? It's time for another Oscars ranking video. This time I'm going to rank all 10 Best Picture nominees from my number 10 all the way down to my number 1, my personal favorite. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. Again, everybody just remain calm. I'm doing another rankings video for the 2023 Academy Award nominees for the 95th Oscars, which are coming up. I want everyone to just go with the flow here. These are my rankings based on my personal preference. Like I said, from 10 to 1. There are actually several movies that I liked a whole lot more than some of the nominees this year. Movies like Babylon, Prey, Pearl, and Bones and All, just to name a few. But this is what I have to choose from, and there are some really tremendous films nominated this year. So let's go through the rankings, shall we? To get us started, my number 10 is going to be for Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. You would think that a film based on Steven Spielberg's life, directed by Steven Spielberg himself, would have ranked higher, but here we are. I've mentioned in previous videos how this film was all around lackluster for me, despite some really fabulous performances. The film felt forced and overly dramatic at times, in my opinion. There were a lot of good things to come from the project, but unbelievably, not only is this my number 10 here, but it would also probably be considered one of my biggest disappointments of the year, as my expectations were initially through the roof. Okay, and my number 9 is going to go to Avatar: The Way of Water. This is one that I actually just watched very recently. This movie is an absolute marvel of cinematic achievement, especially if you're talking about the technical aspects, of which the visual effects are the most breathtaking. But in my opinion, if you take away the stunning visuals, the story is just very flat. I found it hard to connect to it, and subsequently I could not really invest in any of the main characters' journeys. To me, it seems a lot like a 3-hour plus storyboard intro into an epic video game. I mean, it looks stellar and will leave you speechless, but do you really want to watch a 3-hour intro before you start playing Assassin's Creed? Okay, on to my number 8, and it's going to be for Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness. This movie was an absolute explosive ride, somewhat pun intended. The biting social commentary in the film is both timeless and hilarious. The darkness within the comedy here oozes from the screen, but above all, I just respect the courage that Östlund had and the lengths to which he went to tell such a strangely awkward tale of class structure and social justice. There are some scenes in Triangle of Sadness that are truly unforgettable. Regardless if you like them or not, you will remember them literally forever. I feel like this is the kind of film that you hear discourse on later on about how people were walking out of the theater or fainting, etc. But then there are sickos like me who just watched it in admiration of such a crazy cinematic experience. Frankly, I can't believe the Academy went for this one, but we'll take our wins where we can get them. Next up, my number 7 is Todd Field's Tar. This is a film that I respect, but I don't love as much as a lot of folks I know do. The moody aura of the film is something to be admired, as well as some of the technical ingredients such as the score and editing. However, easily the main standout from Tar is Cate Blanchett in the titular role. She has done some amazing things in her career. My personal favorite performance of hers is probably from 2015's Carol, but Tar is a close second, and the way Blanchett relays the delicate balance between fame, success, right, and wrong is astounding. Tar is a gritty and challenging movie to watch, but in the best ways. My number 6 is Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. As I mentioned when I ranked the lead actor nominees, I have a personal connection to Elvis Presley and his music, mostly stemmed from my folks and my grandparents and their borderline unhealthy fandom of him while I was growing up. Luhrmann's film, and most notably Austin Butler's performance, really captured the energy and world-shifting appeal of Elvis and his rise to superstardom. This movie is typical Baz, with tons of colors, loud edits, split screens, and yes, of course, music. Butler turned in one of my favorite performances of the year here, and the movie will always hold a special place in my heart. Okay, my number 5 is going to go to Sarah Polley's Women Talking. This is such an important piece of filmmaking. It takes the stage play setup to create the seemingly simple story of a woman's place in the world, while simultaneously shattering all of the biases that exist not only in Hollywood, but literally all throughout professional life for women in America. It is torturous at times, but funny and heartfelt at others, but all the while, it knows its place as a teaching tool for those that often scratch their collective heads at the plight of women in certain classes and social situations. The film also makes some very interesting choices from score to cinematography. Some work better than others, but Sarah Polley as a director is one to watch going forward. And she also should be among the best director nominees this year, but she is not, which is not only a shame, but it's also inadvertently proving her point of the story that she is telling in Women Talking. My number 4 is going to be The Banshees of Inisherin. This is a quiet, introspective film about friendship, family, and the hardships of change. Thanks to brilliant performances from everyone involved, Barry Keoghan, Kerry Condon, Brendan Gleeson, and of course Colin Farrell, who arguably gives the performance of his life here, we get this subdued, lovely tale of bittersweetness and growing through change. Also, just FYI, all 4 of these actors got nominated in their respective categories, as did Martin McDonagh for director. I believe that Banshees is easily one of those films that could walk away with the gold, and I would not be surprised at all. However, you'll have to wait for my final predictions video to see if I'm going to land on it. And my number 3 will be the masterwork of cinema, Top Gun Maverick. How could the Academy not nominate a film that Spielberg recently said, quote, saved Hollywood's ass, unquote? Despite how accurate that statement may be, it is evident that Maverick and films like it, aka the blockbuster, are a form of entertainment that is needed to keep the movie-going audience actively seeking out seats to fill, as opposed to just their couches to snuggle on. Maverick is a thrilling ride from start to finish. It brings the action, sure, but it also deals with some pretty deep, dark stuff, all centered around loss, grief, regret, and in some cases, depression. Tom Cruise really shows his dedication to not only this role and the franchise, but to the art of movies in general. Top Gun Maverick is one of those few films that doubles as a crowd pleaser and an award-worthy film, and I think it's deserved in both categories. All right, my runner-up at number 2 is going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. This is the only movie I saw this year that actually left me speechless. It literally blew me away. Everything from the beautiful, tragic imagery that we get through unforgettable cinematography, as well as makeup and production design, special effects, and of course the acting. Some of these scenes have stayed with me for literal months. That tank scene, anyone? I also love how the movie showcases the brutality of war with no reservations, while also allowing the commentary for how war is senseless to resonate throughout. For my money, All Quiet is one of the greatest war films ever made. I think it is the best one since 1998's Saving Private Ryan. This film is also based on a book and a remake of a 1931 Oscar winner, so the history with the Academy is right there in front of the members. This is another movie that I feel like is strongly in the running to walk away with the gold for Best Picture on Oscars night. Okay, who here is surprised? My number 1 is going to be the Daniels' Everything Everywhere All at Once. Easily one of my favorite films of 2022. This is such a memorable, trippy film that brings in elements of science fiction, action, comedy, adventure, romance, and drama. Just like its plot, it exists in multiple genres, multiple planes, but it always comes back around to family and where we belong in the universe. Michelle Yeoh gives the best performance of the year here as Evelyn. She exists in so many different settings and brings something so transcendent to each scene that she is in. At the end of the day, she is just a mom who is trying to do her best. The movie is brilliantly disguised as this elaborate multiverse experience when it somehow manages to stay grounded based on its commitment to the characters and their love for each other. I am not ready to make my predictions video quite yet, but if I had a vote for the Academy, this would get my vote, as it's my number 1 among the nominees. And it's about time we had another Parasite moment. So please get it right, Academy. Everything Everywhere All at Once, in my opinion, is easily the best picture among these 10 nominees. So there you go, guys. That's how I would rank the Best Picture nominees from number 10 to number 1. What do you think? How do you rank them? What's your favorite among the nominees? Leave it down below in the comments. And please subscribe to this channel. I have at least one more Oscars rankings video coming up before the broadcast, which, by the way, will be on March 12th. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time in the garage.